Well, hey there, you awesome bipeds, quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs. It is I, Little Wolf, and welcome to my den. Go ahead and come on in, but please wipe your paws before entering, and go ahead and take a seat by the fire. The cauldron's bubbling so you can have your choice of tea, coffee, or hot chocolate. And soon it is going to come upon the time that most of us dread, at least here in America. It's going to be Monday. And with that being said, it's time to take our weekly break from the stupidity of that day, or any day that you might need a break from, and revisit some vintage cartoons. Luckily, I was able to find 3 more, and this time they actually all work pretty good from what I've seen, so I'm going to help you take a break from your day. But, it is that time of year where it is really hard for people to get through their evenings, especially if it's winter time, because then it becomes cold and dark, and not being able to visit your family, your friends. And we're starting to get over that just a bit, but everything's starting to kind of come around full circle again, where we have another variant that's kicking up out there. So, if you're feeling like it's a very tough time for you, here in America they do have the U.S. suicide hotline number, which is 1-800-273-8255. Once again, that's 1-800-273-8255. And you can text them at 741-741 if you don't feel like talking. But if you don't want to go there, you can always hit me or my friends up in my Discord for the Little Wolf's Den or the Swordsmen group, and they'll definitely be willing to sit down with you and listen to your problems, because we'd rather hear about that than hear about something happening to you or anybody else you might know. We do love and care about you bipeds, quadrupeds, and occasional dinosaurs very much, and my den would be so much emptier without you. And if you don't live inside the US, you can always go to suicide.org/international-suicide-hotlines.html to get a list of all the countries out there and websites that you can visit in case you need that. And of course, a lot of my friends in the chats will hopefully put up either numbers from their area or websites inside the chat, and so you can also visit those areas too. I'm really hoping that you do, because like I said, we'd rather hear about your problems than hear about something happening to you. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into our first cartoon. And some of these were kinda hard to find because it is tough to find like Christmassy public domain cartoons, and it would be easier if I used other cartoons, but then I might get struck, and that would be no fun at all. So, let's go ahead and start with Ginger Nuts Christmas Circus from 1949. Alright, and this one, the Oracle says, Squirrel Ginger is the ringmaster of an animal circus. A parrot has snuck in using a weasel's ticket. The weasel keeps trying to enter as well, but keeps getting thrown out. The parrot heckles and is also thrown out. The weasel prepares to clobber the parrot, but a mole pops up with a Peace on Earth sign, which the weasel smashes on the parrot. Oh, okay. So, let's go ahead and join the circus and see what happens here.
Indeed I have. Two.
Show him, come on, show him. Indeed he has two. Has two, get it? Two, get it? Platypuses. Pussies. Don't look much like cats to me. Pussies, cat, get it? Get it?
Kind of miss the days when we would have circuses that would go around from town to town and visit people and just have fun with it. I did get to meet Tiny Tim when they were still doing that, and I even had a picture with his autograph on it, but sadly throughout all of my movings around I did lose that, which I'm kinda sad about, but I'm glad I was able to meet him. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into our next cartoon. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and do the Candlemaker from 1957. And the oracle does say, a candlemaker entrusts his young son with the task of making candles for their church on Christmas Eve. So let's see what happens with the candlemaker's son, and what happens during that Christmas Eve. I hope you bipeds enjoy.
Many years ago, before there were any automobiles, and before we had electricity or even gas lighting, and when people used horses if they wanted to go out for a ride, and oil lamps and candles if needed a light, there lived in a small country town, yes, a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker. With just over a week to go before Christmas, the townspeople were busy indeed. And none more so than the candlemaker and his young son, Tom. For in those days, quite small boys were expected to behave like grown men. For years now, every Saturday at 4 o'clock, the candlemaker had been making the journey from his shop to the church across the square. Because God had been so good to him and blessed his home and his work, he showed his gratitude by giving his finest candles to shine upon the altar as an offering to God.
your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Whenever I read these words of Jesus, I think of one of our own people, our friend the Candlemaker. Like a good steward, shows his love for God by giving his most beautiful candles to light the cross upon our altar. I pray that all of us will always give in this same spirit, to show our love for the Father, who blessed us with a Christ child.
The family was up early next morning, for a busy week lay ahead. The Candlemaker had to deliver quantities of Christmas candles of all shapes and sizes to the outlying farms and villages.
Hurry up, son.
Coming, Father.
Now. I'm not going away forever. I'll be back on Christmas Eve, in time for service. Look after your mother, son. And there are plenty of candles to be made.
Don't worry, Father.
Don't forget, this week, I'm leaving you to make the second altar candle. I have made only one. And remember, both must be taken over to church by 4 o'clock Saturday.
Yes, Father.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye. Bye, Father.
With his father away and his mother extra busy getting ready for Christmas, young Tom was in charge of the workshop, with the task of turning out many candles a day. And then there was the altar candle for the Christmas Eve service on Saturday. On that Christmas Eve long ago, the church was made beautiful by the loving work of loving hands, just as churches are today. Then, as now, there was a manger where boys and girls would bring the white Christmas offering for the children's home.
Get washed up for supper. Your father will be home soon. Tommy, you forgot. Run over quickly now. And be careful you don't drop them.
I'm sorry I was late for the candles, Pastor.
Never mind. You did do it. And just in time, too. Look who's coming.
Well, son, did you make the church candle?
Yes, Father.
Each member of the family had his own sad thoughts that night.
To think that a son of mine should make such a candle, a worthless candle that won't shine, and after all these years.
Young Tom knew what his parents were thinking, that he had failed them, and that he had failed God.
Oh, Squeaky, I'm in such trouble. I have to make the candle all over. I wish I could be made over as easily as candles. Won't be easy. Jesus will help.
And so it was, many years ago, that the Candlemaker's son learned the meaning of Christian stewardship, just as we must learn it today.
Okay, with that one out of the way, we are now coming up on our final cartoon for this break from the stupidity of the day known as Monday or any other day that ends in Y that you may need a break from. And this one is the 1959 The Christmas Visitor. And the Oracle does say here, Santa stops at a home to drop off Christmas presents, and spying a tray of goodies sits down for a snack. While he eats, the presents come to life. A toy sailor in a sailboat cruises around to explore until he attracts the notice of a pretty shepherdess spinning on top of a music box. They flirt until she catches the eye of an evil, black-clad jack-in-the-box. He blows the sailor away, but she spurns his advances, so Black Jack cranks up the music box to high, and while she spins around, he throws some rope at her, wrapping her up and binding her. Then he carries her over to a toy train set and lays her on the tracks. The sailor finally rights himself, and despite Black Jack's best efforts, manages to save the day. Santa finishes his snacks and rewraps the gifts, and keeps the new lovers together in one package, and chastising the jack-in-the-box as the cartoon comes to an end. And even though the whole thing was kinda spoiled in that thing right there, hearing about something and seeing something are two totally different things. So, let's go ahead and see what happens while Santa enjoys his snack.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced through their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out in the woods there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. And what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old quick, I knew in a moment he must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and then called them by name. No Dasher, no Dancer, no Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Dom and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, whoa, they're all! And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. A bundle of toys he'd flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. Having finished his task, he spoke not a word, but shouldered his sack and rose like a bird to the top of the chimney and across to his sleigh. Then he stopped and he listened. It was now Christmas Day. He grasped both the reins, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight,
Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night!
And with that cartoon now done and out of the way, sadly that brings our time here together close to an end. But you know, my den is always open, and the fire's always going, and the cauldron's always bubbling. So you'll always be able to come back anytime you feel like you need a break from anything in life. And with most of my videos, they're around 30 minutes to about an hour-ish. So I hope that will be able to give you a nice breather from anything that you feel like you need to escape from. And if you did enjoy this, please hit the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, please hit the subscription button and the notification bell to let you know whenever I post up a new video, to give you a break from the stupidity that's running rampant throughout the world. Because we always need a good breather, and I've been told I give people a nice rest and that my den is very welcoming. And that's exactly what I want it to be. Because there's already too much stuff out there in the world where there's debates and fightings and everything else that's happening, so we always need a break from it. I think the weirdest debate I kinda caught was whether or not Santa was Satan. Now to me, that's just really dumb. I mean, at one point, wasn't he known as Saint Nicholas? So if he was a saint, how could he be Satan? And anybody who spreads joy to families and children are going to be okay in my book. And I will always happily believe in Santa and tell people he is real. Because that's the kind of wolf I am. I like to keep magic in the world, and I want to believe that it does exist. And I try not to push it on people, because that's not the nice thing to do. And just because I have a different belief than most people, it doesn't mean I'm not going to be civil with them, as long as they are with me or my friends. And all of you bipeds, quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs that visit my den, I would consider friends and family. I love you all so much, and I hope you guys do have a very happy holidays if that's what you celebrate. And if not, I just hope you have a good day. And I was glad to be able to share my den with you during that time. And so, until next time, my friends, remember, please be safe and be civil, and to always mask up, and if you haven't gotten your shots yet, please go out and get them. And to remember to social distance. We need to keep each other safe so we can make it to the next year, and also so we can have more generations make it on this earth. I love all you bipeds, quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs so much. So until next time, Wolf out.